In a tranquil and lush forest, there lived a small, vibrant bird named Chirpy. Chirpy was known throughout the forest for his cheerful songs that echoed through the trees every morning. His feathers were a dazzling mix of blues and greens, reflecting the beauty of the world around him. Chirpy had a zest for life that was contagious, bringing smiles to the faces of all the forest creatures. Every day, Chirpy would flutter from tree to tree, greeting his friends with a melody and basking in the warmth of the sun. His favorite spot was a tall oak tree at the edge of the forest, where he could perch on the highest branch and survey his surroundings. The forest was his playground, a paradise filled with the scent of blooming flowers and the gentle rustle of leaves in the breeze. Life was peaceful and predictable, and Chirpy relished every moment of it. But one day, as Chirpy sang his morning song, he noticed something unusual. The sky, usually a bright and welcoming blue, was beginning to darken. Thick, ominous clouds gathered on the horizon, casting long shadows over the forest. The air grew heavy and still, filled with an eerie silence that made Chirpy's feathers bristle with unease. He paused mid-song, looking around in confusion as the first low rumble of thunder echoed in the distance. Chirpy's heart began to race. He had never seen the forest like this before. The wind picked up, rustling the leaves with a sound that was almost like whispers of warning. As the sky grew darker, the first drops of rain began to fall, cold and insistent. Chirpy flitted from branch to branch, his usual confidence replaced by a growing sense of dread. He knew he needed to find shelter, and fast. But where could he go in such a fierce and unfamiliar storm? With the storm intensifying around him, Chirpy darted through the forest, his tiny wings beating frantically against the wind. He searched desperately for a safe haven, his usual perches now swaying dangerously in the gusts. The rain came down in torrents, soaking his feathers and making flight more difficult. As the thunder roared and lightning flashed, Chirpy's fear grew, but he pressed on, determined to find shelter. Finally, through the sheets of rain, Chirpy spotted an old, majestic tree standing firm amidst the storm. Its thick, gnarled branches seemed to defy the howling winds, providing a stark contrast to the chaos around it. Chirpy's eyes locked onto one particularly sturdy branch that extended out like a protective arm. With a burst of energy, he flew towards it and landed, gripping tightly with his tiny claws. The branch swayed but did not break, offering a sense of stability in the turbulent storm. The storm raged on with relentless fury. Thunderclaps shook the ground, and lightning illuminated the forest in fleeting, blinding flashes. Chirpy huddled on the branch, his heart pounding with each crash of thunder. The wind whipped around him, threatening to tear him from his perch, but the sturdy branch held firm. Chirpy felt small and vulnerable, a lone bird against the might of the storm. He squeezed his eyes shut, trying to block out the fear and noise, clinging to the branch with all his strength. As the minutes stretched into what felt like hours, Chirpy's initial fear began to take a toll on him. His body trembled, not just from the cold but from the overwhelming sense of helplessness. Every muscle in his tiny frame was tense, ready to fight against the elements. But then, in a brief moment of clarity, Chirpy remembered the strength of the branch beneath him. Despite the storm's power, this branch stood resilient, offering him a lifeline. He opened his eyes and took a deep breath, feeling the solidity of the branch grounding him. It was then that Chirpy realized he wasn't alone. The strength of the tree was with him, giving him the courage to endure. As Chirpy clung to the sturdy branch, the storm's fury showed no signs of abating. Yet, amidst the chaos, a realization dawned on him. The branch he held onto was unyielding, its strength unwavering despite the relentless onslaught of wind and rain. Chirpy began to understand that the branch's resilience was a testament to the tree's deep roots and enduring nature. This realization brought a sense of calm to Chirpy's heart. He wasn't just a tiny bird in a storm. He was part of a greater whole, connected to the strength and stability of the ancient tree. With this newfound understanding, Chirpy's fear began to ebb. The storm still raged, but he felt a surge of inner strength. He loosened his grip slightly, allowing himself to breathe more freely. Each rumble of thunder and flash of lightning seemed less menacing as he focused on the steadfastness of the branch beneath him. Chirpy's endurance grew, not just from his physical grip on the branch but from the mental fortitude he was developing. He could feel his confidence returning, bolstered by the realization that he, too, had the strength to weather the storm. Gradually, the storm began to lose its intensity. The thunder grew more distant, and the lightning less frequent. The fierce winds that had whipped through the forest started to calm, and the torrential rain slowed to a gentle drizzle. Chirpy, still perched on the branch, could feel the change. The forest, once filled with the roar of the storm, was now quieting. As the last remnants of the storm moved away, a sense of peace began to settle over the land. Chirpy took a deep breath, feeling a mixture of relief and triumph. He had faced the storm and endured its worst. As the first light of dawn began to break through the receding clouds, Chirpy looked around with renewed eyes. The forest, though battered, was still standing, much like himself. The sturdy branch that had been his refuge now seemed to glow in the soft morning light. Chirpy spread his wings, shaking off the last drops of rain, and felt a surge of gratitude. He had discovered a strength within himself he never knew existed, a resilience that mirrored the trees. With a joyful heart, Chirpy took flight, singing a song of triumph and gratitude. He knew now that, no matter how fierce the storm, he had the inner strength to find safety and peace. And so, dear listener, Chirpy's journey through the storm teaches us a profound lesson about resilience and inner strength. Just like Chirpy, we all face storms in our lives. Times of fear, uncertainty, and overwhelming challenges. But in those moments, it's important to remember that we, too, have sturdy branches to cling to. These branches may come in the form of supportive friends, family, or even our own inner fortitude. Chirpy's realization that the sturdy branch provided him with strength and safety is a reminder to us all that even in the midst of chaos, we can find stability and peace within ourselves. It's in these moments of trial that we discover our true resilience. By holding on and enduring, we emerge stronger and more self-aware, ready to face whatever comes our way. As you go about your day, remember Chirpy's story. Embrace the challenges with courage, find your own sturdy branches, and trust in your inner strength. Every storm passes, and with each one, we grow more resilient and more prepared for the next. Thank you for listening to this tale of inspiration and courage. If you enjoyed Chirpy's journey, I invite you to explore more stories of inspiration and overcoming adversity available on our YouTube channel. There, you'll find a treasure trove of tales designed to uplift, motivate, and remind you of the incredible strength that lies within us all. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell so you never miss a new story. Until next time, stay strong and keep believing in yourself.